Justice Not Just Legal Part 7 in audio. I will not be using your name if we go by my plan. We will be in public. You may not like this plan, but if you have a better plan we will look at it as well. I will not have you stashed away in the little room in the stock trailer, neither will I have you back there with Jenny. I want you up in the truck with me. You will live a normal life. Here is how it is. I have a real close friend, Molly Morgan. She is a professional makeup artist, and she can transform you into a gorgeous little princess. You will need to spend a few days with her as she will train you to act like one as well. The only problem you will have then, is that the boys will want to flirt with you. What do you think, kid? You think you can handle that? Kyle has a mischievous grin on his face. It's a bit out of my passion, but I can handle it and it could be very interesting. I hope I don't look in the mirror and fall in love with myself. That would be a horrible fate. Kid, you have a great sense of humor as well as guts. Now, here is the rest of the plan. Betty has a daughter a few years younger than Chad. Those were her clothes in the boxes you put in the stock trailer. I adopted her also. She lives with the sister that Betty is visiting. Amanda is like her mother. She likes the city life. Your official name will be Amanda Platt, but I will be calling you Princess. We will find a nice little town that you like in the Rockies. I even have one in mind. I will set you up with a post office box. It will be with the names Chad Platt or Amanda Platt. That way if you think it too risky to be Chad you can be Amanda. That way we can keep in contact in case you run into some sort of trouble. I will leave you a few $100s just in case you get in a tight and need something. I will also leave you a small handgun for your purse. Some idiot may try to rape you. It's not one of those single shot toys. You wouldn't want to try bringing a bear down with it, as it would only make him angry, but it would send a cougar to the promised land. I am grateful for all of this. I hope to repay you someday. You are truly my second father and it gives me a wonderful feeling. Kid, you have paid in advance, but I will not bug you about it. You don't want to accept the fact, but you did save my life. That does not make any difference to me. I am not doing this because of you saving my life. You are like a son that I could not have. Let's finish getting this thing together. I will be taking you over to Molly's place in the morning. You will love her and she loves kids. I have known her for many years. She has been one of my closest friends. Betty doesn't know about Molly. Their ethics and lifestyle is as far apart as the earth is from the sun. You will be safe with her. She knows how to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Deceit is her fascinating game and she loves it. She does not want to know your name. It makes it safe for her that way. She doesn't even know that you are a fugitive, but you could be a criminal and it would make no difference with her. Since you are a friend of mine, you are her friend as well. The next morning Alan drops Kyle off at Molly's place and Kyle is on his own. Alan does not go in to speak to Molly and Alan is out of sight before Kyle is knocking on Molly's door. Good morning, son. Good morning, Molly. The door is softly closed and Molly looks Kyle over carefully, then she asks him to sit in a big easy chair. You are not quite as I viewed you to be. You are a soft, sensitive kid. I viewed you as a brawny, stern jaw-set desperado. Alan told me about your encounter with those two big cats. He said you have more guts than he has. He said you should be a doctor. You said his bones as good as a doctor. He said you didn't like accepting the fact, but you did save his life. You have actually created him a whole new life. I have not seen Alan so happy in years. You are a cute kid. It will be very easy to transform you into a gorgeous little princess. You are bright enough to catch right on how to act like one as well. Molly rambles on, and meanwhile Kyle analyzes Molly. She does seem like a very nice lady. She has light brown hair with a fair skin tone. She is rather thin but not skinny. She is a very good looking lady. Kyle is wondering if he would get by with speaking a bit of his mind, and he does. Outside looks don't count much, not when it comes to what a gentleman is or what a lady is like. It is their spirit or personality that makes them what they are. I may not be good at some things, but I do my best. I give it all I have. Molly is shocked at Kyle's ease to speak his mind. I must apologize, kid. though you look soft and supple you are made of the finest steel. Whoever you are out to best you are going to give them a run for their money, and I am betting on you. Molly sits down on the couch facing Kyle. I understand Alan taking you under his wing. He is more proud of you than his own son. Did Alan tell you about his son? Do you mean Chad? Oh no, that was his adopted son. Mark, his own son. He would probably be 20 years old now. He overdosed. That would be hard to live with. I understand Alan not telling me about him. He may tell me about him later, but don't you worry, I will never mention what you have told me. I have more respect for Alan than I do for my own father. You truly have a heart, kid. You will never regret the love you give Alan. It will return to you 10 times over. He is a prince and Betty does not deserve a man like Alan. She is neatly stacked. She has the face of a flower but she has the personality of an empty beer keg. Their bond is like mixing oil and water, and their life and goals are in as opposite directions as any two could be. Let's get started. I will get you fixed up. I have a nice dress for you in my closet. I think it will fit you nicely. I will be calling you Princess. You need to get used to the name. Kyle gives Molly a playful grin. You will promise me you will not make me so beautiful I will fall in love with myself when I look in the mirror, will you? That would be a horrible fate. Shocked with Kyle's witty remark, Molly speaks. Since you walked into this house you are not the same kid I met at the door. I cannot promise you anything, but my hunch is that a lot of boys are going to fall in love with you. I think you are going to be an expert at acting your part. It is the evening of the third day and Alan takes Molly and Princess to a fancy restaurant. Alan is taken with amazement. Molly had transformed Kyle into the most fascinating lady. She had it all. With her style, mannerism, and magnetic charisma she was stunning in any honest view. If Kyle could have been happy being a lady he would not need to go into hiding, but the wilderness was Kyle's paradise. He is eager to get on their way to the Rockies. Kyle liked being free and he had put his whole heart into being a lady. Since he had to do it he might as well make the best of it and enjoy it if he could. Molly had truly decked him out. It was an expensive dress he was wearing, and the jewelry and all were superb. Princess had her embarrassing times. The waiter gives her more attention than he should have. He was flirting with Princess and Molly came close to setting him straight, but the waiter saw Molly's disgust without her saying a word. He backs off a little. In the end he is embarrassed. He was very young. He was perhaps a year older than Princess. It turned out that Betty came home early, and Princess had to stay with Molly until time of liftoff, but Princess truly enjoyed herself. They went shopping and did a lot of interesting things. Princess learned a lot about women, things that she didn't know. Some was a bit embarrassing but she managed well through it all. Molly could not figure it out. Was it the boy she loved about Princess, or was it the girl, or maybe it was both? She could not remember a time in her life that she enjoyed herself as much as those 2 weeks with Princess. Molly had many pictures taken. They were still and moving. It was all secret. Molly had a close friend at her service. It was all candid. Molly was even unaware of most of the scenes. When the time of departure came, Molly and Princess held each other passionately in their arms for a long time. They were shedding tears. Molly was the mother that Princess never had, and Princess was the daughter Molly never had. Or was it a son she never had? She really didn't know which it was. She just knew Princess filled an empty place in her life. Molly set in her mind that she would be with Princess again someday. It was the first day on the road and Princess listened to the news. She was eager to learn what the law was doing about Kyle's escape. In time, she learns what she wants to know. It is one of the talk show hosts. He has the retired officer Dave Warner on his show. Dave, what do you think happened to Kyle Kip Kingsley? Do you think he is still alive? That is a hard question, sir. I hope he is, but it is not likely. I was there with the search team. Those hounds went crazy. They got to that place where the deer had congregated and it was as if Kyle had evaporated or he had flown into the treetops. Those hounds were so mixed up and dazed they were frantic. if they had been humans you would have heard cursing and profanity like you had never heard before. We found a lot of cougar tracks. I would like to think that he is still alive, but it is likely a cougar did get him. It does leave some mysteries in my mind though. Kyle was a brilliant boy, he was very intelligent, and Kyle never had a hostile bone in his body. If he was a killer and dangerous he would have shot me, he would have taken my gun, he would not have thrown the gun into the forest and run like the wind. Now I wished he had taken my gun with him, the way it looks he certainly needed it. Tears fill Princess's eyes, she knew Dave truly cared. Alan glances over at Princess for a few seconds, then he looked back at the road. His vision became a little blurred. It was not raining, the windshield was not dirty either. Alan truly understands Princess's respect for Dave. Dave was truly a kind and understanding friend. Alan stops in Barstow, California and rents a motel room. He takes Princess to a nice restaurant. Many teenagers are there. They are not a trashy type of kids, but they are not in the elite class either. At least a few are not the cream of the crop. Most of the time Alan could not keep a straight face. A few times he outright laughed. "What is so funny, Daddy?" Alan feels as if he will bust out in a fit of laughter, but he feels everyone staring at him. Of course most of the teenagers have had their eyes riveted on Princess. The girls as well as the boys have been fascinated by Princess's mannerism. Princess is so into her act, she actually has a magnetic charisma, and for her it has become an interesting art. Alan is sober now and he speaks very low. "We did all of this so you would not be conspicuous, and now you're in the limelight every place we go." "That's okay, Daddy, I don't mind." Alan whispers, "If you don't stop that daddy thing I am not going to be able to finish my dinner for laughing." "That's okay, you see those two girls in back of me, they ask me to come over and visit with them. When I finish my dinner, and I am just about finished, you can relax and eat in peace." "When did you speak with them?" "When we were in the restroom they asked me." Alan blurts out, "In the restroom?" He turns red with embarrassment, then he whispers, "You went into the women's restroom. Don't you think it would look a little strange to see a lady going into the men's room?" Alan's face turns red again with embarrassment, then he says, "You really mean to make a profession of this, don't you?" "I might as well make the best of it since it has to be done." The one girl pulled her dress to her waist and asks me if I thought she had a pleasing figure. I told her that any boy that thought she didn't wasn't really a boy, he just looked like one. After all, I have seen girls naked before. If I acted embarrassed, it would give me away. "Don't worry, Daddy, I will behave myself. Those two girls are sort of cute though, don't you think so?" "I don't know, I have not seen them and this is not the time to assess them. I will take your judgment for that." It is the two tables back. One has auburn hair and the other has black hair. Alan spends a few seconds admiring them. "You certainly have an eye for beauty, Princess. Go and enjoy yourself, you lucky little princess." It is still difficult for Alan to eat his dinner with any speed. It is difficult to get his eyes off of those three girls sitting in front of him. He can hear much of their conversation. They are keyed up and speaking very loud. Those two are two fascinating little girls. They are probably a year younger than Princess. They even discuss Kyle Kipking-Seeley. It seems that he is their hero. Jane speaks with spice in her voice. "I hope he is still alive. I hope to meet him someday, but I suppose that is too much to hope for." Princess replies quickly, "I think he is very much alive, and don't give up hopes of meeting him either. I know some close friends of his, and when he shows up I will let him know about the two of you." Ginger with a little screechy voice speaks. "Really? Oh great, you are the nicest girl we have ever met. You seem to be so encouraging, you are so considerate, it's like you love everyone." Jane and Ginger walks with Princess out to the truck, and each gives Princess a lengthy hug, and then Jane gives Princess a note with both of the girls' address and phone number on it. Later the girls discuss the possibilities of them being homosexuals. Princess's love felt a bit strange.